Hi, today we will explain on impact of inflation towards micro business in Malaysia. What is inflation? Think of a trip to the grocery store. It sets you 50 Malaysian ringgit back in 2019. For a year after that, in 2022 when you buy the same items, but they will now cost you 70 Malaysian ringgit.
Why this is happening?
This is inflation. In economy, inflation is an increase in the general prices level of goods and services. In an economy over time, which is also means value of money is worth less in the future usage.
What is the factors that influence inflation in Malaysia?
There are some factors that contribute to the increase and decrease of inflation, such as devaluation of the Malaysian ringgit against major world currencies, increased transport logistics costs, price manipulation activities of middlemen, supply and demand are out of sync, increased production cost, cartel and monopoly activities, high import costs especially for food, increase in oil prices, employment rate. Micro-business in Malaysia, or called as micro-enterprise, are defined as establishment that have fewer than 5 employees, with sales turnover for all sectors, namely agriculture, mining, construction, services and manufacturing is less than 250,000 ringgit Malaysia, also known as independent contractors, freelancer and small organizations. These are the examples of micro-business in Malaysia. Inflation is an increase in level of goods and services that will result in reduction in the purchasing power of money, while micro-business is small business that employing fewer people and having turnover less than certain amount. What do you think will happen to micro-business when inflation crisis happen? Inflation certainly has a negative impact on businesses worldwide. Here are some of the direct impacts of inflations on small business, or known as micro-business. For the first impact, higher running costs. Small business will have to spend more money on the supplies they needed for their business. For small businesses that involved in imports and exports, this means higher shipping costs, tariffs on international sales. Rising costs also create a cash flow problem for small businesses, making it harder for them to meet their short-term obligations. Secondly, increased prices. Small businesses are forced to increase the prices of their products during inflation to maintain their profit margin. However, this can have adverse effects as it reduces competitiveness. Increased prices may also discourage customer from buying your products. Third, higher tariffs and taxes. Increased taxes may be used to reduce inflationary pressures as taxes lower disposable income, which reduces demand. While this is helpful for the economy, it could be horrid for small businesses because they tend to be less stable and have a lower chance of surviving long enough to enjoy the benefits of this anti-inflationary approach. Fourth, decreased consumer purchasing. As prices rise, people buy less, and this overall effect of dampening consumer demand ripples throughout the economy. But it's important to note that the effect is not evenly distributed. For small businesses that selling goods for their survival, this decreasing in consumer purchasing is something they needed to be concerned about. The seller need to keep an eye on their market and make sure their prices remain competitive to keep as many customers as possible.
Kesan ni banyak lah. Kesan ni kalau akak maksudnya kalau kesan ni dia macam ni lah. Kalau akak tak naikkan harga, means kesan ni kat akak lah. Kita kena follow harga baru yang berbekal baru. Bila akak follow, dia akan akak yang akan rugi. So maksudnya dia akan naikkan harga, dia akan maintain macam selalu. Cuma kesan dia sebenarnya bukan dekat peniaga, kesan dia kepada perantai. Betul? Sebab kat peniaga, pengazalan memang naikkan. Memang akan follow harga baru kan. Macam kalau macam kesan ni kan, kalau kita naikkan harga baru, mestilah macam pelanggan tu akan buat compare baru. Dia macam ni tau. Macam akak pelanggan tu tekan persen akan naik. Persen naik banyak. So kalau macam yang kan, bukan dapat feedback dulu lah, tak tahu lah. Pasal apa-apa kat ni. So dia compare kedai akak dengan Inah Shop, kedai akak still murah. Walaupun kami ambil pemakaian sama, kita orang sebab kaya peniaga ni dia tengok pada margin yang dinaikkan. So macam kita akak tak tanya, ambil banyak. So dia shop, dia ambil banyak. So ada dua suri dia compare dah harga. Pemakaian ni mesti juga kadang-kadang dia tak ada dapat pemakaian apa. Ni kan lagi ada. Dia supplier naik pemakaian naik harga, kami peniaga kena naik harga. Kalau tak kami lalu memang ni lah. Maksudnya sekali kapasiti naikkan ni, yang pemakaian ni kalau tak naik, kita harus jalankan range yang sama. Cuma yang akan kesan sebenarnya dekat pelanggan. Tapi selalunya akan tak naikkan banyak. Dalam 20%, dalam 5% pun 5%, 5% tapi kalau 20% dalam macam air, betul kalau perasan air kotak apa, kat je 6% lagi. Selesai akan ambil dalam 20%.
These are the issues arise about inflation in Malaysia. As we know, doing business become more expensive with inflation, but there are ways to keep our businesses healthy during those periods. The first one is, be smart about cutting costs. Broad untargeted cuts can be unsustainable and impede growth. Do analyze which expenses are essential to the core function of your business and which can be cut without impacting profitability. 2. Consider cleaning up your product and service backlog. Trimming down your business product to the core products that bring the most demand and give your business the best margins return can help minimize costs and simplify business operations. 3. Reduce the risk. If you have the storage space to spare, strategically stockpiling inventory can help multiple benefits to business. Most obviously, managing inventory as a physical asset class can assist cut expenses and provide advantage over competitors. 4. Automated processes. To cope by inflation, businesses need to improve productivity and efficiency by automated processes. Small business can invest in low-cost automation tools that can automate their recurring processes. This also will allow them to cater more customers, thus increasing their sales.